everyone, I'm Alex and I'm the hands behind Lovecraft Crochet. My plushies are for the anxious, depressed, autistic, and neurodivergent. Small enough to travel in a purse, backpack, diaper bag, or even your pocket. You can check out my Facebook page or TikTok to see what patterns are available and stay tuned for the new ones coming out. I also make hats, scarves, blankets, and dice bags for the tabletop gamer or dice goblin in your life. Feel free to order through the page, TikTok DMs, or via email at love.craft.crochet@gmail.com. Now, on to the segment.
Hello and welcome to the playing over 15 minutes aftercare to the campaign, or the sessions, whatever you want to call them. We're calling them campaigns because there are little mini campaigns in different settings coming up, etc. And I am the DM for this dumpster fire, AJ Carey.
And I'm Sam Rossi, the player of 4 characters in this session.
Who cannot take a hint.
Nope, can't take a hint.
And by a hint, I mean yelling directly into her face.
It wasn't directly into my face. Thankfully, we have a TV tray between
You're
us.
right. Yelling at your face from 4 feet away. And you still going, man, I should probably punch that owl there. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So, for our first campaign, we did the starter session. That is D&D Beyond. I don't want to say regulation because they don't actually give you a full campaign. They give you the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle intro chapter that doesn't even get you to Dragon's Rest. It just gets you onto the beach. In fact, we make a comment about that.
We do talk about that. I think we should have done that first chapter.
Well, we should have, but we didn't know.
We didn't know.
We didn't know, man.
Yeah.
The reason we're doing this after session is twofold. Mostly because I want to talk about Stormwreck Isle because it is, like I said, it is, one of their starter things. Like, they do have a couple others. Like, I believe Frozen Sick is a one-shot.
I think so, too.
But at the same time, I don't think I think it's as open-ended as this. But who knows? We'll probably do that one next. Or not next, but we will do that one eventually. And Prisoner 13 or whatever,
I'm not sure if my character could handle Prisoner 13. We'd have to roll up new characters with guns.
Nah.
Okay.
That's the fun part of doing Critical Role. I believe Prisoner 13's a Critical Role. But anyways. So, we are going to be talking about the 3 roughly 6 to 10 hours or 6 to 8 hours of Stormwreck, what we liked, what we didn't, and I'd love to hear you guys in the comments saying what we got wrong, because this was our very first campaign for this.
With this style, and
it was our first time using the mics. It was our first time using D&D Beyond, really. In fact, we didn't discover the mapping system until we actually got to the myconids in the first...
the fungi.
Now, first and foremost,
do we want to talk about how we came up with this idea?
Well, that's exactly... I was going to say... we came up with the idea just because we do play D&D.
Yes. But I was watching a video on Final Fantasy, I think it's 3. Whatever the first one it released in the US was.
Okay.
And I thought about the 6 you got to pick 4 characters out of 6 different classes. So I started thinking about doing that in D&D. Well, I know one dungeon master, so I had to talk to AJ.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that I actually hate the fact that you chose me. I know it's because I'm the DM. I'm now the forever DM. Because I'm also doing the family game that we're doing. That we got to reset up since last time. Well, a lot of things happened in personal lives.
AJ caught COVID. I went to the psych ward. We're all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We're all good. It's fine.
We're better now.
Much better.
But so, anyways, you approached me and being like, "Hey, let's do this."
I was like, let's do this. I'll come up with the 4 characters, have them where they fall into the 6 categories that Final Fantasy originally gave us: 3 fighters and 3 magic users. Well, D&D can give you 3 choices of a magic user. So she became a warlock. And that made me think of Lulu from Final Fantasy X and X-2.
Yeah.
As a warlock and as a drow elf. Kind of pictures her with the curves.
The curves of a drow elf?
Wow.
That's potentially racist.
Anyways, so that's how we ended up with the magic user.
Uh-huh.
I needed somebody to heal. And Monk was also... Monk is a choice in the original game. So I went, what the hell? I haven't played a monk before. Let's play a monk.
Well, technically, you could have gone with a white mage. The D&D equivalent of a white mage would be a cleric.
Yeah, I could have gone with cleric, but I'm doing a cleric for the family game, and I didn't want to confuse the two.
Fair.
Then I picked the straight fighter, but I picked the tiefling, so I could figure out how to make that work out with the fact that I have a tiefling in the other game, trying to understand tieflings.
Trying to understand tieflings.
Yeah, so I've been trying. Not working. But the monk's a dwarf.
Yeah.
He can't hold his ale.
That was a great roll, and I love it. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Sorry. Anton's a straight fighter, and that leaves Tink our rogue. Another option that they gave us.
Well, they gave Thief in the original, I think.
They gave Thief in the original. Well, I can't make... they changed thieves to rogues sometime in the 3rd edition.
And even for 5th edition, from what I've been looking at, even rogues now are, like, stepped away from thievery.
Yeah!
Like, you can't pick... Like, there's no lockpick ability check.
No, but I can just sleight of hand. So we do sleight of hand.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be, is that, like, now sleight of hand covers pickpocketing and lockpicking and, you know... And this is also another major thing that we're very new to 5th edition. As in, when we started this, I had done one DM campaign at the family thing. No, 2.
2.
2 for the family game, which was my first 5th edition. We really stopped playing around 3.5.
Yeah. I think 3.5 had just come out when we stopped playing.
Yeah, it was literally like, I want to say 2003 is when we stopped playing wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
I played off and on, you know, through high school and college, but I haven't really played D&D since I think 2010, 2011 maybe. So, and that was as a player.
Yeah.
I DM'd one campaign. There was a one-shot arena campaign. It was not even, you know, but that's also another really interesting thing that I like, is that D&D has definitely moved from the war games roots that it had, where it's just dungeon crawling or castle, you know what I mean? It's a lot more focused on role-playing.
Yes.
Which, if you guys have watched the show that we just finished up and is up now, it's a lot harder to roleplay
4 characters.
4 characters with one brain. And yeah, that's actually a great way to put it up.
I know. If I can get my glasses cleaned so that you're not blurry when I look at you.
No, actually, that's just me now.
Oh, you're just a blur?
Yeah, I've decided to be retro. I'm now 480p in real life.
But yeah, I had to find my Nikes because I can't find my my newer pairs.
Anyways, so it was very... One, I will say, and we chose Stormwreck again because it is pretty much their, hey, if you're going to do a campaign, do this. They give you the intro, so yeah. Clearly that would be D&D Beyond, that would be Hasbro, that would be Hasbrody of the Coast, or whatever you want to call it. Because that's its own company thing, but we're not here for the history of D&D. But so we chose that because it was, it looked fairly meaty enough that we could do something with it.
Yeah.
And well, first off, what did you think of overall about the campaign?
Felt a little disappointed. Now that could have been, I don't think it was us. I think how they have it set up.
Well, back in the day, because of the shift in role-playing being a factor a lot more now than then, I do see a lot of modules leaning to being a lot looser versus, here's this quick thing, here's town. Town is whatever you kind of want it to be. And then go to the dungeon. Here's, room 1, room 2, yada, yada, yada. Very simple, very laid out, very organized.
Right.
Whereas with this, it was a perfect thing for me to relearn how to DM.
Yeah.
Because
maybe you'd have to think about how to play again.
Yeah. Because, like for the family game, I have that written up in my notes and how I laid it out in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Which has because I'm a world-building DM.
Yes, you are.
Like, I literally started the family game using the free, intro to Stormwreck Isles thing, and now it's spun off into its own thing. But I'm a home brewer. Because I also I dislike the business practices of Hasbro and whatnot.
Does Hasbro own Wizards of the Coast?
Yes.
Okay. Because I had a moment there going, why is Hasbro involved? I thought Wizards of the Coast owned it.
Wizard of the Coast is currently a subsidiary of Hasbro. But, so I like utilizing my own stuff a lot more, but because we're doing this show, I kind of have to. Not have to, but choose to. Because we could have gone with Demi-Plane, and we could have honestly done this in Pathfinder. But I also want this, like, while you said you had the idea that you wanted to, Final Fantasy it and have fun that way.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is, I actually do want to check out other things. Like, next campaign, we're doing Humblewood. Yeah!
Yeah.
Which looks phenomenally fun.
It looks like it's going to be... I've done the research. I've done more research on this freaking campaign than I've ever done to build a character.
Well, no, that's good. As long as you're having fun while doing it, that's the whole point.
That is why this is why we do this. Because it's fun.
Well, because that's the G, man. Game. TTRPG. Tabletop role-playing game.
Why we gotta be so difficult?
Sam, TTRPG has been a phrase for a very long time.
I know, I still think it's difficult.
Titirigapa. How's that hard to remember? So anyways, Stormwreck Isles. I think I like it. It lays out very simply.
It is.
Now, like I said at the beginning of all those episodes, I was trying to play this as close to module as possible.
Yes.
With that being said, because that module is very loose, like, they say, hey, do this, you know what I mean? Like, they lay it out, here are the 3 paths you can go. The Myconid layer, the shipwreck, and then the tower.
Right.
Whereas, and I think it's because they're trying to be, I don't want to say corporate about it, but they're trying to be as unilateral about it, equitable, maybe, where it's like, hey, you can pick to go to wherever you want to go. However, if you chose, like, I believe it was at the end of the first one, or it was the middle of the first one before you guys went, where they're like, you wanted to go to the observatory.
I wanted to know more about the observatory.
Because they give you pre-made characters, and they don't really state. And I should have read. This is on me horribly, completely. I was reading the module while we were playing it.
Yes, that's why next week this coming week you're studying for Humblewood.
Yes, I'm reading the Humblewood mod. Well, again, in my headset, or in my headspace, it was, okay, the module's going to set up, I might have to do some fudging around in town to get you to where you need to go. But once we get there, I'm just reading stat blocks and whatnot.
Right.
And that's why I think the smoothest we ran was where we both hit our pre-modern safe zone. Our comfort zone.
We went dungeon crawling.
When you went dungeon crawling in the Myconid nest, or Myconid, whatever the hell, we should really look that up eventually.
Fungus, man. Fungus.
The fungals in the fungal caves, we hit a stride, I think.
Yes.
I didn't have to yell at you about RPing.
Nope.
I didn't have to railroad you in any sense.
Nope.
I had to railroad you to go to the Myconid thing, but that was less on you, and that was more in the module. It's like, well, you've chosen why you're there from our pre-made character lists, and it's like, oh no, we didn't. When I turn around and I believe you were in the tavern, and then I think you edited it out because it was quite literally.
Oh, that's because we had a 10-minute conversation about it?
Yeah.
And we were talking about restarting all over again.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if we should have restarted or not.
Well, session 2, we had to restart already.
Yeah.
Like, if we're, 3 hours in and then we have to restart because they want you to have a reason for being on Dragon's Rest, outside of, well, we're just curious.
That was 30 minutes in. We should have redone it. But that's just me as an after. I noticed where I was more, during editing, I was more of a critiquing myself than you as a DM.
Well, that's because I'm a good DM. No.
No, when I asked if there's anything else you want to tell me before I go off to the observatory, you go, no, you should see
Mila?
Thank you.
Well, and I think that's because, again, and this is going to sound, I'm not critiquing you.
No, critique away.
Okay.
Be nice.
No, you already opened yourself up. I think the hardest, and this is why I think this is going to be our air quote least good episode campaign, is because we were figuring things out.
Yeah.
When we do Old Gods.
Oh, that's going to be.
I'm going to have to relearn. I need to understand the cipher system, but you're going to have. Shell said that she'll sit in. So that we have multiple multiple players.
Yeah, I don't think I could play multiple characters in some of the role-playing games that are out there.
Oh, yeah, no. Like Candela Obscura or Call of Cthulhu or Old God.
No, I can't do that.
When it is RP first, sort of stories like that, you being 4 separate people in one body, I don't think will work that well.
No.
But I think that once a second person is there, then you guys can play off of each other, whereas as the DM, we are working together to tell a collaborative story, essentially.
Basically.
However, and because I always hate DMs who are versus the players. Like, it's not me versus you. And
no.
That's not how the game sets up. The game sets up, me and you are telling this story. So, but there is still for lack of better metaphor, there is still the DM screen in front of us. I am still not a player.
No.
I am the warlock patron. I am the deity. I am all the external forces that people go through. Okay. Now, you can say that I can be a benevolent deity, but, it's sort of like while we were playing, and I was like, again, I like bringing up the owlbear because quite literally it was 5 minutes of me going, there's a whistle around its neck, and you going, okay, so if I punch it, if I shove him out of the way...
Can I shove Anton out of the way because he's an idiot?
Well, no, you guys were being attacked regardless. However, the decisions you made, however, that's sort of where, on my end as the non-player, how do I turn around and keep telling you, hey, this is what you're probably supposed to do? Or this would end the fight? Because you guys could have fought it. It only had 58 hit points.
It would have been fine if I wasn't rolling so shittily that day.
It was also the fact that he was hitting hard. You know what I mean? You guys could sink 50 damage in if you really went for it.
Yeah.
You know? But Anton was about to die. There was very little, because you rolled bad and I rolled a lot better than I should have.
It happens sometimes.
It does, and I try not fudging.
I know.
For the most part. Again, you know, when I killed my son, I tried to fudge that in his favor, but I'm not going to lie. I will bend, never break.
I understand.
You know? It's sort of like, or when, because I kind of have, I know the basic mechanics of a monk. So when the harpy in, again, session 2 of this was flying, and, you know, she was only 40 feet off the ground or something like that, or she was 20 feet off the thing where you could jump, because I know monks have mad jumps, yo.
I get 10 feet.
Yeah.
But I get that regardless of what race I'm at.
Yeah.
Power up, I can double that. Which now I have been looking into more of the elemental portion of the elemental monk. And I can power up.
Yeah.
I could Super Saiyan.
Saiyan.
That's what I said.
You said Saiyan.
Whatever.
No, those are very different things. But anyways. But like with that, I again, but I think it is because this was our first session. This was to knock the dust off, figure out how we can do this, how we have it set up.
Right.
You know, you are playing 4 separate characters, even if you are one person.
Right.
It's why, like, I don't think Kane said a single fucking thing, except even when he was grabbing the drink in session 3. I don't even think you said that he said anything.
Nope.
It was you just narrating, okay, he's grabbing this and he's gonna drink.
Yep, and he rolled a 6.
And then he spewed all over the kobolds. Now, I will say, on a negative, and this is on me, Dragon's Rest, or rather, this isn't wholly on me, Dragon's Rest has nothing but kobolds except for 2 humans and, what's her name? The brass dragon, or the bronze dragon, who's a...
Ruana?
Yeah, Ruana.
Ruana.
Whatever her name was. So...
getting Stormwreck, Stormtrooper,
Sparkrender? Sparkrender, yes, but I was just talking about in town.
I know.
All there were 90% of the, NPCs in this had to be kobolds. And I made a decision about the voices without realizing everyone in fucking town was a kobold.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, and I understand in the comments below, you could turn around and say, wow, that was probably the most annoying town in the world. After I realized everyone had to start sounding like this, because this is the decision I made. I agree, but it's also why I kind of made it into not necessarily the most obnoxious, or not necessarily the most annoying, but definitely the most obnoxious town.
Yes.
Like, they give you a library. Nothing happens in the module about the library. So I tacked on the, when you're like, I'm just going to look at the library. Like, I got nothing for the fucking library. But in the list, they have this character being like, well, he's just so tired. And then all that went through my head was Wagons East. I need a big damn book. Except...
Yeah, but he did that for another reason.
He did. But it's one of those things where it became, And again, I am so sorry about Zark. Somehow,
sexually assaulting my tiefling?
It was harassment.
All right, I'll get. No, he bit him. That's assault.
You're right. We should cancel Zark.
Oh,
You punched him. You actually assaulted him too.
yeah, but I went and saved his ass.
No, you went to save Laylee.
I liked Laylee.
And it was called a hook to get to the fucking shipwreck.
I know.
Now, had I redone that, I probably would have had you go to the shipwreck first. Just as
that seems so easy.
Well, and that's sort of it. Is like, well, that seems so easy. I should have also rolled a d6 to see how long it would be until Laylee or Zark got killed, because literally they're up, 5 feet over there.
I realized something while listening.
Yeah?
I couldn't picture it 3D. I couldn't picture the ship 3D. So in my head, I was still below one more deck, not up on the main deck.
You were on the main deck. The problem was you weren't on the watching decks. The observer, whatever.
Well, I was thinking I was one floor down.
No, I get that. But it was really just one of those moments that... Session 2 was a fire of so many levels.
Yeah.
But I think that's also another reason we had this campaign specifically. Because I actually want to take the time with Humblewood.
Yes.
Again, I'm not saying we're going to have, 14, years of playing this campaign.
No, I'm hoping this campaign at least takes us a couple months.
Yeah, I could easily see 8+ episodes still. But this one was definitely a way to kick off having... This is gonna sound bad, and everyone who's listening might some content creators will understand this. I would like to have our bad episode, or at least one that we can easily turn around and go, just skip the first one. It's like on Critical Role. No one fucking really likes the first 20 episodes or so, because they just started streaming. You know what I mean? They just started the streaming aspect of their home game.
Right.
So you're getting... One episode had, audio not even available for, 30 minutes because of technical issues. So I wanted really, in this first session, have a quickie. I say quickie, look at the timestamp of 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
But...
Almost 9.
No, I want to say first...
First one was 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, and then we did roughly 2 hours for the next two.
Roughly 2 hours for session 2. Session 3 is almost 3 hours.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Anyways.
Sorry.
But no, that's exactly where it's one of those things. I wanted a dry run, essentially, to see how our audio sounds. To see... Well, now to figure out D&D Beyond. But to see how the tech will work, to see how I can DM well. Or at least how to not totally suck as a DM. Although, I'm sure more seasoned DMs will be like...
You sucked.
You sucked. Even players will be like, wow, you kind of sucked. And I kind of did. But I went in not really knowing, so I made apple juice as best as possible.
You did.
And you did too. I think you did a lot better when you zoned in. But the second, again, this isn't a critique, or this is like you were saying. You were looking at the map, so you were thinking of it in a 2D space. I can go this way or this way. Those stairs don't matter right now.
Yes.
Despite the fact that I literally said Laylee's right up those stairs going, help me, help me, help me.
I thought you meant a different set of stairs.
I should have brought up one of the boys' fucking toy boats.
That would have been cool.
Only for you, because you're a fucking child without spatial awareness. I'm kidding.
No, you're kind of right there.
But And I realize I do sound a little annoyed with you, and you're like, okay, cool, she's right up there screaming. Yeah, I'm going to open this door. I'm going to continue fucking looting. But this is another thing where I really wanted you to try different characters throughout this as well, because, well, like I've been saying, we started with, we started as I was fucking 10, not, I want to say 9 or 10.
You would have been 10 because Y2K was 1999.
And
That made me
we were playing with, seasoned people who played
First edition.
First edition. We were playing with, we played First edition. Pretty much we played an amalgam of first through 3.5. Literally, it was, if it's in one of the books,
It was acceptable.
it was acceptable. However,
Except I did not like edition 2.
AD&D was, and I've realized this along the way, while AD&D became the de facto, this is the one, it was also so much more niche and a lot more for people who played the first one. So, anyways, point is that we came in young, not as top players.
No.
It wasn't even that we were all learning together.
No.
You had you had the adults who had been playing for, 30 years. And then you had us kids who were just learning.
Yep.
So there was a pecking order kind of a thing.
Yep.
And it was very much still in the AD&D aspect of, while there was some fun role-playing going on, like when Dad knocked out Vinny's character.
I love that story!
Pro tip: don't tell
Paladin that you have no god. My father backhanded this guy, and the kid lost his player because Dad took him to the astral plane.
Yeah. But then again,
He also wanted to have he wanted to be able to use his fairy.
Pixie.
Pixie, yes.
But that's also something that modern D&D has become a lot better with, like playing exotic or obscure races, which I kind of like, but I also kind of hate. Because it's really become this thing of, I want to play a kobold. Okay. Now there's all these different stats and everything like that for kobolds.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing, but I think it takes out the fun that you can have making the non-standard player races into a thing. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like, originally, there was a huge push for Drow when they came out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In AD&D, when Drow not necessarily were introduced, but a lot of people wanted to play this new exotic elf race.
Kaboom.
And then R.A. Salvador's Drizzt books came out, and everyone wanted to play Drow. Then, pretty much how people are with tieflings now.
Right.
Where it's like, this is the hip new kid, And so anyways, I'm gonna digress. So how we set up, learning how to play was still in the war games fashion of classic D&D.
Yes.
Where it was a lot less based on role-playing, although role-playing was still, again,
Was needed.
was prevalent. Like, there was still some, fun to be had. Role-playing was roughly confined to town. For the first 10 minutes of the thing, you're in town, you set up to go do the thing, then you go do the thing.
Yeah, basically. Anyways. Jesus Christ!
Well, you guys missed doggies. I'm sorry. I farted.
Jesus, okay. Yes, we were young when...
But
we also were allowed to play with two different characters to...
Sometimes. But that's where... We came up in a fundamentally different realm than the people who started playing 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where this is a combat war game we're playing with light role-playing. Now, especially over the last 10 years, where there's this there was this another boom in tabletop,
Right.
which is focused on role-playing, which is more improv style, you know. Yes, and D&D.
Bless you.
Thank you. So, you know, like I said, I think that's where we know how to play D&D this way. This is how we were raised. This is what we were taught.
We were taught dungeon crawling.
We were taught dungeon crawling, and we still know that we can play our characters special, you know, like Saber Blood Axe or, you know, Samuel Eckblade. Okay, we know that, you know, each character can still be a character, and there's still some role playing, you know, and everything like that, but it's not a focus.
No, it's more about team play.
Not even team play, it's role play.
Role play, yeah.
Because while yes, team play was really cool, like when me and when Uncle Randy threw me the chain and we wrapped those, I think it was 12 to 14 goblins. I want to say it was goblins.
It was goblins.
Goblins or kobolds? I can't remember because that was
goblins. Kobolds weren't really a big thing.
Well, they were. We just like goblins, but you know, that's a little bit of role play in the dungeon crawl.
Right.
Whereas, you know, but that's where you look at, and even what I look at when playing D&D. Like when you were looking at the map and you said, I couldn't picture it 3D.
Yeah.
And I think that is actually the best apt, and forget everything I said previously about metaphors. That's a perfect way. You look at it as at a 2D plane, because we were taught 2D planes. But now it's evolved. So now in art, let's use art as a metaphor.
Right.
You know how to sketch. I know you do.
Yeah.
You know graphic design. I know you do. So now you're being asked, okay, does your art degree include 3D modeling?
No.
It doesn't. You can generally understand how to 3D model. It's very similar, depending on what program you're using, it's very similar to clay sculpting.
Right.
I know that's the most basic way to say that, but...
I did pottery.
Exactly. You did pottery. Would that translate to being able to use SketchUp to make STLs for our 3D printer? Probably not.
No! Because half of what you just said did not make sense to me. There are boomer moments I have, man.
Well, but that's sort of it. So when you look at a map, it's like, or even when we were in town, pick any number of the times where Laylee literally holds up 2 bottles of fucking healing. You even rolled to make sure you knew that they were potions of healing.
I did. And nothing told me to take it.
Cool, you want them? No, we're good. See ya. Okay, what the fuck?
I didn't think about it.
Or anytime I would even, like, I tried my best to not, hand feed you stuff. But, oh boy, howdy. Because quite literally going, is there anything else you want to do while in town?
I don't know.
No, just go to the next thing. It's like, okay. You know what I mean? I
completely get it, and I need to work. That's something I want to work on with Humblewood.
Well, and that's where I like I'm saying, I don't think it's inherently just a you problem. It's me tossing you, it's, let's go with another metaphor here. I like metaphors.
I know.
It's, you know how to drive stick shift.
Yes.
You don't know how to drive paddle shift. Yeah. Basically what it is... Is
it where you use your hands to...
Yeah. You have left and you can upshift, downshift. Half of them don't have clutches. Half of them do still.
Yeah.
But
It's... I
there
understand in theory how to do that.
Yeah.
But it is not something I've never done.
But you could, given time, you could learn that. That's why I wanted to do something very straightforward in strictly D&D sense for our first one. So that way I can learn how better, like there are even moments where it's like, let's look up that rule. You know what I mean?
Where I went and said,
I think it's this. We can't find it right now, so let's rule this way. But later on, we can shift it once we find it, which we're going to do with the elemental attunement.
Right. Which the only way I found that is when I was leveling everybody up and it showed up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't show up anywhere else on my character sheet.
Well, that's also because I think D&D Beyond kind of sucks.
Yes and
For
no.
certain things, it sucks.
Yeah.
And I know it's because I would like 5 minutes in the room with the staff of D&D Beyond, because while they have great notions, they also have a really stupid thing, but you can tell that it's corporately stupid, not creatively stupid. Like, did you know that you can't just go into your library? Like, all the stuff that that we got for it, you can't just go in there. You have to go to sources, then you have to type in library in the search bar to show you what you own.
Yep.
There's no specific thing there. How they lay out, characters is fine. However, because honestly, it's phenomenal. We wouldn't have probably played the family game, started the family game as we did, if the boys, yes, the family game includes my children. Well, now only 2 of them. Now only 1 of them. Ezra doesn't want to play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Vinny, my 5-year-old, was really interested in just being with everyone, but he didn't really play that well. He likes rolling the dice. That's about it.
Well, it's just no big deal, because, that's what what did I do when I had to go take Sheila to work? No. I had to do something, and I gave the boys my phone just to roll dice.
Yeah. That was right after, I think we were all just talking and tabulating, because because you can look back at our game log and see him rolling dice.
Hundreds and hundreds of 20-sided dice.
So, anyways, but what the fuck was I saying? You've distracted me.
Sorry.
Just like with the boys. What the fuck was I saying?
If you had started the family game.
Oh, thank you, yes. Because my kids, Xander might have been able to focus in and create a character using the books. It was a lot easier because in the last 20 years, a lot of people have now focused on, drop-down menus and the semi-automated nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a create a character from a video game now, more than, doing the research and everything like that.
Right.
And
but
that
I'm
works.
also old school, so I did the research beforehand.
But the problem with D&D Beyond is that they have the free rule book, which is half of the normal, player's handbook.
Yep.
And you can't, first and foremost, right off the bat, if they had it where your subscription gave you the basic, the core rule books, they would instantly have more people on board. I truly do hate the fact that, what is your, what would a, DM level tier list give you? Oh, it gives you a 1 free monthly book in the library, not to own, just it's available in that time. And unlimited characters and unlimited campaigns. Mm-hmm. Roughly, that's it. I mean, there's other, minor things like you get to use maps, the maps thing.
Right, and you can start campaigns. You can share campaign shit.
Yes, you can share your library for that's great. Except, again, you would still have to spend, $60 on the books.
Yeah.
You still have to spend an additional amount to, what is it, $7 for the DM tier.
Yeah.
Because I think it's $3 for the hero tier. $4, okay.
$4, I think
but
it is.
You're hurting your business model.
Mm-hmm.
By turning around and going, cool, you give us money, we're really not going to give you a lot that you can't get from Roll20 for free. And still have to buy the books. I get the buying of the books. I'm not saying,
But we should have been able to get a digital copy with our subscription.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be, here's all of the digital copies, but going, hey, for $7, as long as you're doing the monthly, $7, or, even $4 for heroes, you should be able to get the basic player's handbook.
Yep.
Not a basic free rule book.
No.
Because even in the free rule book, I think they limited so much.
I got more when we started throwing things into campaigns.
Yeah.
I got more options.
Yeah.
That's what made me think of it with Humblewood when I had to go to the hero class.
Well,
and
that's
to that so that I could have the unlimited characters, but then I had to create the character, put it in the campaign, then change the character completely for the race and everything.
Yeah.
And pray that I can re-roll that the stats that I rolled originally make sense for the character I just created.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It becomes this thing where they try and put the cart before the horse, but they still want to pay you. They want you to pay for the wheels to even put, to even really do anything. And I think that's my number one issue. Like, do I hate the fact that they use AI art and AI assisted stuff to create their rule books, to create their material?
Yeah, I have an issue with that.
Oh, I totally do too, because you have a giant community of people. Pointy Hat, every video. I'm just using Pointy Hat as a example. He's a YouTuber. I think I've shown you videos.
Yes.
Every video he does, he gives out a free character thing of what he's talking about. Like, if it's, here's me talking, the problems with bards. So here's how I would make bards neat, or here's the subclass for bard.
Right.
A major issue that I see, and this is a Hasbro. Again, it's one of those. You can see the problem is on a corporate level, not a creative level.
Right.
Why do companies keep using AI? Because they don't want to pay the money for creatives.
Because they think it's simpler.
Because they would rather steal than, pay. But it would be so much easier for them to almost look at how Minecraft, I would even say Roblox, despite the fact that that is just a sweatshop as well, is you can monetize the community while also not harming the community so much. You can turn around and go, yes, with your subscription, because we're getting money from you, you get a free copy of our current rule book. You know what I mean?
That would make sense to me, because if we had just had the player's handbook, period.
Yeah.
That came with our subscription, since we both have the different ones. If it came with our subscription, that would make it easier to create characters.
Yeah. And you would want to play more. Because now you have this. And especially like on a hero level. Okay? All you really need is a player's handbook. You don't need the DM's guide. You don't need the monster's manual.
No.
You don't need Unearthed Arcana. You don't need any of the other stuff. You do need the player's handbook.
You need the player's handbook. I have a player's handbook to my left, and the monster manual to my right now.
And hell, they would even be able to justify turning around and going for the DM tier. Instead of it being, $6 or $7, it's $10. But you also get the monsters manual. You also get the DM's guide and just the current ones. You know what I mean? Whatever the company wants to push as this is officially what our current
rules
are. Boom. Now all of a sudden, you've increased your money. You aren't... The thing that I always hate, and this is again me bitching... I'm sorry this turned into complaining about... But... I'm sorry this turned into complaining about D&D Beyond and Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. But... My biggest issue, like right before we started doing the Stormwreck, was the fact that... I had to create the campaign, you had to join the campaign, you know what I mean? You can't just turn around and have a character create a character for a campaign.
No.
You have to create you have to create the character so I can add you to the campaign.
And then I have to take the rule, take the DM, take the rule book you have, the player handbook you have,
and go back through, and and that's where it's like, that's lame.
I learned that because I noticed, I figured it out from Stormwreck the first time. So when we were having that problem with Humblewood, I was like, it's got to be the same thing.
Yeah. And they could benefit, and I think this is just, again, it's they want, because there was a big boom once Critical Role, and they even partner with Critical Role, and they still do. There's still some.
Yeah, there's some Critical Role.
Blood Hunter has now been added fully for it. Hit Press to me reads more like they have to use D&D. They have to publish through D&D 5e because of how the new really stupid user guidelines are when it comes to fan creations.
Right.
That is so stupid, and there's I'm coming into this argument way after. You know what I mean? Because they changed it right before 5 came out, I want to say, or something like that. There was a new shift in something, and suddenly they changed everything, and everyone fucking hates it. And I do too. But we are still going to be using it for Humblewood, only because
it's based on 5e.
It's what we have. Now, but there is so much that they're throwing money away by being too stingy. Because guess what? Guess how much money... I hate when companies do the, I hate the fact that on PlayStation, a physical game a digital game costs the same as a physical game.
That you don't own.
That, yeah. Tomorrow, if Sony cuts, any support in North America, guess what? Any of the games I downloaded, or even the PS5 itself, could brick. I don't have I don't have physical discs. But... and they do kind of, I think it's only it's like $10 or $20 less to buy the digital than the physical. But to offer the player's handbook to people who are paying, you know what I mean? You buy the Heroes tier, to offer it, they're already making $7. Or they're making...
I would pay $5 for my unlimited characters and player handbook.
Yeah.
I have no issue paying $5 to rent, air quote.
Well, that's sort of it.
The player's handbook.
As long as you're paying, this is what you have. You drop down to a free account, you may lose. You lose it to the free. I still fucking hate the free rule.
Yeah, but I found the free rules is based off of West Coast.
Wizards of the Coast.
WotC. Where... Shit. It's gone.
It's okay. We've complained enough about that. Let's actually talk about Stormwreck now. What'd you think of it?
Overall, it was okay. I would not say it's our best work. I think our best work is yet to come. Because I'm going to try to make the voices for...
Well, again, I meant more as like the module itself. Was it a simple...
Was kind of simple, but you got to think we had complicated campaigns as a kid.
We did. But we also had dungeon crawling campaigns, so even the most complicated campaign was fairly run in, smack some things, continue on.
Yes.
It's why I think, but the pecking order I brought up way back, it feels like a lifetime ago, like 3 rants ago, was... We also had very simple rules in our head. Like for you, I see a chest, I run to the chest, I get stuck to the chest. It's a mimic. Ha ha ha. But...
It became... You know how that started? Terror of the Magic User after I disabled the traps? Because I had to wait till the next round to open the chest? Well, come open the chest and take everything out of it. And then get upset with me when I stopped checking the chest.
That's not how that works, Sammy.
Yeah, it was how that one worked. However, my issue with Magic Users also came from Tara because of she decided to send a fireball into a 20 by 20 room.
excuse me, fuck you. You had a ring of fire resistance. You survived.
Thankfully, I also had the healing potions, too.
I was dead, Jim. Anyways. But that's sort of it, where it's like, you were able to zone in.
5 of the hour.
5 to an hour?
5 minutes to an hour.
Okay. So, session 1, you felt that... I think session 1 was our best session.
I agree, because it was dungeon crawling. It was something we are used to. It was simple.
Yes, and I think because... But it also really showcased that if we were to do something similar, I wanted you to break out of, you know what I mean, being into, because, again, our roles were simple.
Yes.
It was go in, attack, fight, next. Or check for, you know what I mean? It was very bop, bop, bop. There was a very
We have a
clear
list
order.
of things we got to do in a specific amount of order.
And I think the major thing you need to work on, and I'm not saying this because you were playing 4 characters, which is tough even if there were other people around, but you're doing it as yourself.
Yes.
The role-playing aspect was what probably hung us up the most, I think.
I agree. When we did have it where, like, Tink and Laylee connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Tink and, the tired dude.
But, yeah, we had fun little moments in, but it also hindered other characters, like Anton. I had to drag something out for Anton. Lulu, while she was apparently the mouthpiece, only really ever, had minor interactions just to be the face so I could give a monologue about here's what you have to do next.
Basically.
Kane, again, I don't think said a fucking thing. I legitimately cannot recall a time where Kane said anything. Kane did some things, but that was you going, I'm moving this piece over here to kick. Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like, that's why when you're like, I totally didn't do that in town. Well, you didn't, because in your head, bop, 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 here's the order of operations. We go to the town, they say what we need to do, we go do it. Sort of a thing.
Yeah, that's basically how it works.
Now, for our next campaign, Humblewood, there's a lot more role-playing focus.
Yes. I'm terrified and excited at the same time, because I am going to try to do the voices for each one.
Well, and I just want to let you know, you can try, you don't have to.
Right.
Because, again, something that a lot of people fail to, really grasp is it's a game, but that doesn't mean, like, a lot of people want to be Matt Mercer now. Or Brennan Lee Mulligan, where, like me, I like doing voices. I do voices for everything. Even just talking, I do voices. So it's very easy for me to do, this voice. But then all of a sudden I realize I have 7 fucking other kobolds. How do I change this voice? I can kind of do this. You know what I mean? Where it's like, but that's me. And I know that you're less about that life.
I believe I can do Stitch. Mickey Mouse. Well, Bart Simpson doing Mickey Mouse. I'm the mascot for an evil corporation. Who knew that was going to come back and bite them in the ass?
But
yeah, I really don't do major voices.
Yeah.
But I want to give each one. I think I have the personalities down based on the race and what I want the character to be like.
Right.
So I'm feeling more connected to the Humblewood characters than I did my Final Fantasy characters.
Right. Well, that's also because we're starting Humblewood from full scratch. We're not going, this is a D&D campaign, so we have a basic understanding of the world and everything like that. So
no, this is a whole new world, a whole new set of characters. Oh, I did tell you what I'm naming the band, right?
yeah,
Okay.
and the people will know next time.
All right. I'm Sam Rossi.
And I'm AJ Carey.
Thank you for listening to the aftercare of Stormwreck Isle.
Deuces.
Peace out.
Keep on carrying on.
C-A-I-E. Right. Because
Carry on production.